My stepmother said I made her uncomfortable in her home. My dad reminded her whose name was on the deed. Heather moved in when I was 15, 6 months after Mom died. She redecorated immediately, erasing every trace of my mother like she'd never existed. The family photos came down first, then Mom's books, her dishes. Even the curtains she'd sewn by hand disappeared overnight, replaced with Heather's minimalist gray aesthetic. "It's important we all move forward," Heather announced at dinner one night. "Living in a shrine to the past isn't healthy." Dad nodded along like a puppet. I said nothing, just moved Mom's recipe box to my room before it could vanish too. The uncomfortable comments started small. I left dishes in the sink once after a late shift at my part-time job. Heather called a family meeting about respecting shared spaces. I stayed up studying until midnight. Heather complained my desk lamp bothered her from across the hall. I came home and found my door didn't have a lock anymore. "Privacy concerns," she explained. When I turned 17, she ramped up the campaign. I made her anxious with my presence. My schedule disrupted her routine. She felt like a guest in her own home. Dad would sigh and ask if I could just try harder to get along with her, the woman who'd thrown away my mother's wedding china because it clashed with her new color scheme. I started spending more time in the attic. It was the only place Heather hadn't touched yet, too dusty and cramped for her taste. I'd sit up there for hours, surrounded by boxes of Mom's things I'd rescued, her college yearbooks, her art supplies, the wedding album Heather had deemed too painful to display. Then one morning, I walked into the kitchen to find Heather sitting at the table with a real estate agent. They were discussing converting my bedroom into a home office. "Once she goes to college in the fall," Heather was saying, gesturing at floor plans. "I got into the state school," I said quietly. "I'm commuting. To save money." Heather's face went cold. That afternoon, she cornered me in the hallway. "I think it's time we had an honest conversation," she said. "You need to understand something. This is my home now. I've been patient, but your presence here makes me deeply uncomfortable." I started to respond, but Dad appeared from his office. He'd clearly heard everything. For once, he didn't look away. "Heather," he said, his voice flat. "Whose name is on the deed?" The color drained from her face. "Well, both of ours, but..." "Wrong. Just mine. This was Victoria's house." My mother's name hung in the air like a ghost. "She left it to me in trust for our daughter. You're a guest here, Heather. You've always been a guest." I'd never heard him sound like that. Cold. Final. Heather's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "But you said..." "I said a lot of things," Dad interrupted. "I was grieving. I wasn't thinking clearly. That ends now." The next morning, I found legal documents on the kitchen counter. Dad had transferred 50% ownership of the house directly to me, at 17. Heather moved into the guest room that night. She stopped making eye contact with me entirely. But here's what Dad didn't know. What neither of them knew. While cleaning out boxes in the attic 2 years earlier, I'd found something. Mom's journal from the year before she died, and in it, detailed entries about how she'd discovered Dad's affair with Heather, his secretary at the time, 6 months before Mom's cancer diagnosis. I'd kept that journal hidden, waiting. And now, with 50% of the house in my name and Heather spiraling, I had a decision to make. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below.